It's Brian, right? Brian, we're getting ready to get started. Right. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the January 17th meeting of the Technical Transportation Committee. I call this meeting to order with our first item of business being the approval of minutes from the previous meeting in December. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Thank you. We have motion and second. Any discussion? There being none, I proceed with the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. The minutes have been approved. The next item on the agenda is access permits. We have an NDOT representative to talk about that.
I don't think we have any new permits that came in since last month. And there are notes of activity that's occurred. So as always, if anyone has a question, I'm willing to answer. And otherwise, we'll just keep moving forward. I did see there's one interesting thing. The permit at Speedway and Veterans Memorial had no activity for a significant amount of time, and we've canceled that permit. It's not a big deal. It just means they got to come and reapply because nothing was happening. So.
All right. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is to amend the 2024 through 2028 TIP. Doug, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a request by the Indiana Department of Transportation District Office to amend the TIP. As you can see, if you looked at the staff report, it is fairly large, involves changing 26 projects that are actually programmed in the TIP and adding 2 additional ones. For state roads, one is on State Road 25, 2 is on State Road 26, 2 are on State Road 28, one of which of them will be eliminated. 6 are on US 52 or Special 52. 1 is on State Road 225. 13 are on 65. There's a district-wide project, a statewide project, and actually a various location in Tippecanoe County project, and these involve traffic signal visibility improvements. In looking at the number of projects, the report was put this together this way, so you can actually see each individual project, and the information shown in the tables are what is being presented to be shown in the TIP, and then right before that is a summary of the changes for each project. There are a number of changes, and it varies project by project. There are some additional phases are being added, whether they be preliminary engineering, right-of-way, or even construction engineering, which appears to be that. And then also the changes involve years of which they are estimated to occur in. And then, of course, the big changes are the estimated cost of those phases. I'm not going to run through each of these projects. Just wanted to kind of give you a summary. And basically, my understanding, reason why all of these changes are occurring is that, there's no big surprise, the costs for projects have significantly increased. NDOT revisited all of the projects, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, that changes were needed, so these are the changes.
I think I said last month the term is a rebalancing of the program.
Okay.
That's what we did. And then we did a rebalance of the rebalance.
So APC staff is recommending your approval to the policy board. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? If we can have a vote on that, please.
I move that we recommend approval to the policy board of these tip changes.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded that we approve all of these proposed amendments. Any further discussion? No? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Great. Thank you very much. It'll be presented to the policy board at their next meeting, February.
So next we have the APC progress report, and Doug, I believe that's all yours.
Yes, it's going to be my show today. So first thing, I'd like to just briefly touch base with you on our commuting trends for Tippecanoe County. Last time we did this was about a year ago, and this information is done by Stats Indiana, and they use the Indiana IT40 returns, and this information is based on the, as shown on the screen, tax year 2021. It's kind of interesting looking at the overall information, the number of people who lived in Tippecanoe County and worked, 111,458. I'm looking a little bit down, the number of people who live in Tippecanoe County but work outside the county, 6,181. But correspondingly, looking at the number of people who lived in another county or state but work in Tippecanoe County, that is significantly larger, 19,665. Looking a little further down, the counties where we send workers to, Carroll County is the top one with 2,785. And then you have over 2,000 persons going to Clinton and White County. This hasn't happened for quite a while. We now have 3 counties where we have over 2,000 people working outside of this county. Number 4 and then number 5, as you can see, is Benton County and out of state. Now, conversely, looking at the number of counties where people who live in Tippecanoe County work, the number 1, believe it or not, is out of state. We have a little over 1,000 persons. And then number 2, no surprise, Marion County with a little over 907 persons. And then following that, you have Clinton, Carroll, and White County. Then following this spreadsheet, I won't go over the individual ones, but we do have the detailed information broken out by county. So again, just a smidgen of information that we wanted to pass along to you regarding where people work and how they travel. Questions or comments? Okay, going on to the next thing. The American Community Survey, or the census, released the 5-year data for 2022 last December. And we went through and actually pulled that information out. There's a significant amount of it. Population, it's broken down here by age, broken down here by race, and then Hispanic, and then actually citizen voting age population. The one table that I'd like to specifically focus on is the next one, much shorter, and that just is a comparison of the population. We're almost there. Next. So looking at, of course, the 2020 decennial census, it recorded 186,251 persons, which we all know is incorrect. As if you look at the American Community Survey, in 2020, the estimation for the 5-year was 193,302. And then in 2021, as you can see, it dropped, and then it did increase from 21 to 22. We do know that probably our population estimate is, my guess would be around 194,000, 195,000 right now if the census was retaken. But we wanted to bring you up to date and show you this information that even though they did not correctly count, or at least in my opinion, the 2020 census, our estimates for 2022 did increase by almost 1,000 persons. Now, the next thing I'd like to just briefly touch upon, I don't have a handout for this, is the status of the U.S. Bike Route 37. As you know, last year it was submitted and then pulled by NDOT Central Office, and their concern was over 3 sections, one being US 231, the other being State Road 16, and those are in Jasper and White counties, and the third being River Road here in Tippecanoe County. We are moving forward in terms of looking at those 3 sections. The alternatives for the US 231 and State Road 16 sections have been developed, and the Jasper County, they have approved those changes. So specifically, the gentleman from Adventure Cycling is working on having White County approve that, and right now we don't see any pushback on doing that. The last section here is in Tippecanoe County on River Road. So in order to pick a new section, we actually put a SurveyMonkey survey, and it is up and available right now. We are leaving it open to the end of this month, and the information can be found on the APC webpage under the bicycle and pedestrian page. Some news to respond to is that since we opened it in December, we now have 127 responses. So the number each day keeps continually increasing. So at the end of the month, then we will take this information and have a small committee look at that and then make a determination on which section should be in Tippecanoe County to either keep River Road or replace it with another one. So the goal of this is to have this all done by February or March so that NDOT then can hold their short public time or ask for public comment and then make the submittal to AASHTO this spring. So trying to get all of this done so again they can submit it to AASHTO, hopefully with the commissioner of NDOT's signature, and then for approval. So questions or comments?
You said the survey is on your page.
Yes. Okay, going on to the last item on MPO update, our federal funding obligation. We have several different reports pages here. The first page that you see here is what NDOT sends us monthly, and it basically shows the individual funding categories and how much of those funds have been obligated. Specifically, we wanted to point out at the bottom of this is the additional federal funds that we will be receiving, and it's the $650,079. And the reason why we are receiving these additional funds is that NDOT switched from using the 2010 census population to the 2020 census population. So since we are growing, we actually receive additional federal funds. Now, we've already sent out a request basically following a miniature tip allocation process to Stu, Jeremy, and Ben, asking for requests to use or to allocate these funds. Hopefully, we want to get those back by February 2nd. And then we will put a staff report together, and what we would like to do is this committee at the February meeting allocate those funds, and then immediately after that, then start the TIP amendment process so that when we present it to the policy board in March and they finalize that, we can then obligate those funds in March. So we're trying to keep this as a quick turnaround. Regarding the federal funds that we want to exchange, our 24 funds for 2025 funds, we are still in the process of trying to do that. We have spoke with the person who is over what we call Group 3 and Group 4 funding, and right now that person is not able to do that. Maybe she will be able to in March with the lettings that are occurring there. So we are going to again ask the MPOs again to look at their numbers. We have also been looking at the other TIPs to see how they are allocating their funds, and we have identified one that's a possibility. And then we are going to also approach the NDOT highway side to see if we can do a swap with them, because of course they have a lot more money and probably could do this trade, but we are looking at various different options. So it is our goal to stick on this and make sure that this happens well before we run into any issues. So this last page, or the one that is up right now, is the second page that NDOT shows us. Kind of give an idea, at the very far right-hand side is the additional funds from these population changes. Do want to point out that there is a new line at the very bottom. There's another urban area in Indiana, and it's the Valparaiso Shorewood Forest. Thank you. So they have a population in that area of roughly 51,000 or so persons, and it now became an urbanized area, and it's now also competing with our Group 2 funds. So any questions or comments regarding all this? There's a lot of information I threw out. So,
May I proceed with the 18-month letting list?
okay. Again, as you see, it's a very short list. On page 2, wait until you catch up. If you could go to the second page at the very bottom. Bid letting results, of course, we reported the Morehouse Road project was let for construction. The Atlas Excavating for a little over $2.7 million. 3 bids were submitted for this project, and of course it was awarded. Looking at the second project on State Road 26, the low bid was for $7.19 million. And of course, it said the engineer's estimate was none below. I did find out it was at $5.55 million. Surprisingly, even though there is a significant difference, it was awarded because there were 4 bids submitted. As the state regulations say that if there are 3 or more bids submitted, it can be awardable. So it was awarded. And this is a small structure replacement, the bridge, and it's over Goose Creek on the west side of the county. And then just above that, since we're on page 2, last month I introduced the new interchange construction on I-65 near Lebanon. There are a lot of other projects involved with this main one, and I put them all here so you can see what is involved. It's a lot. Very big project. Going back to the first page, nothing really to report. Everything is pretty much on track. Tomorrow we have the bid letting for the I-65 at State Road 38 project, and then the Special 52 project. And then looking further down, of course, we see the State Road 225 truss reconstruction or repair project now on a November bid letting. And then further down, of course, on November, also Bridge 527 and Morehouse Road. Questions or comments?
Okay, there appear to be none.
Great, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So that brings us down to the point in our agenda for other business. Does anyone have any other business to bring before the committee? There appears to be none. We have an opportunity now for citizen comments. Appearing to be none. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, I suppose. So I declare the meeting adjourned. Our next meeting will be February 21st.